Hi, everybody. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. We have some amazing presenters here today, so I'll give you guys 1 minute to kind of get settled. I hope everybody's having a good Monday today. So welcome to Advisory Today. We are having a presentation today from our Associated Builders and Contractors right here in Albuquerque. They have an amazing opportunity to offer apprenticeships in many different areas. And so I heard their presentation a few weeks ago, or actually last semester, and really enjoyed everything they had to say. And I wanted to bring that to you all as an opportunity to consider after high school. So I'm going to turn it over. We have Greta and we have Shauna here today, and they're going to continue on with the presentation. So go ahead, ladies.
Thank you, and good morning to everyone. We really appreciate this opportunity to be able to present apprenticeship in the construction trades to you. As Deborah mentioned, we're with Associated Builders and Contractors New Mexico. We are actually part of a national trade association, the primary source of which is that we do training in the construction trades. So next slide, please. My name is Greta Schumann. I oversee the apprenticeship program. I've been with ABC for almost 16 years. And with me is Shauna Frank, who is the apprenticeship coordinator. And together we're here to help individuals succeed in their choice to make the construction trades a way of life and to be able to get better paying jobs and actually have a career in their life here in New Mexico. So next slide. What is apprenticeship? So if we look at apprenticeship, it's actually apprenticeship has actually been around for hundreds of years. So if you look at, say, the Middle Ages, when many guilds came about, there was the Masonry Guild, there's, different organizations that came up at that time, and it was all about learning a trade. For example, even in the arts, so Michelangelo, when he did the Sistine Chapel, he didn't do it by himself, but he actually had helpers who were learning the trade of art painting there. And in this way, by working under a master, you become proficient further as you go along in there. So as Ben Franklin has said, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. And that is what apprenticeship is about. It's the two things going hand in hand. It's learning the trade, getting an education, but at the same time, you're also doing it as well. Next slide.
So some benefits of apprenticeship is the first one is earn while you learn, meaning that when you are an apprentice in the state of New Mexico, you are going to pay nothing towards your education, and you are actually going to be learning and working the whole time. You're going to have a full-time job. You're going to get paid very well. No student loans and no student debt means that your employer pays for your education. So they will pick up the tab for your books, for the 4-year program, which is a lot different than most colleges. Work in your chosen profession from day one. When you go to college, you learn your education, but most of the time you're not working in the field of what you're studying. But from day one, if you want to be in electrical, you're going to be doing electrical. You're going to be installing conduit. You're going to be learning from your journeyman. And then at night, you're going to be going and learning the education and the theory behind what you just did all day. You can graduate with work experience and an education. That kind of touches on what I just said. But it's a very good formula for retaining the information that you're learning. Many occupations and trades to choose from in the construction industry. There's a quote that I can't remember right now, but it's basically, where you choose to take your career after you're an apprentice is up to you. You could take it anywhere, which leads me to unlimited career opportunities. You can also help build New Mexico. You can feel like, you're driving around town and you look at a building and you can say, I helped build that. And it's a standing structure. It's not going anywhere. Next slide, please.
So we're going to review some of the trades, occupations that we offer here at ABC New Mexico. And the first one is carpentry. So this is a 4-year program. And what do carpenters do? Well, they're cutting, shaping, fitting, building materials. They deal with having to install. So basically the framework, if you're in your classroom today, take a look around at what you see around you. And that was done by the carpenters. It's really encompassed all the trades that we're going to talk about, encompassed building your school there. And there are skills that are involved. Never think that construction is something that you would do is like a fallback, or that it's something that it's for knuckle dragging Neanderthals. You have to be pretty darn smart to be successful in construction. So math is a huge skill. It's used in no matter where you go, whatever trade you're in, it's very important. Good communication skills. Carpenters are detailed oriented and also problem solving, because what happens, what you see on a piece of paper and what you're going to try to build can sometimes be two different things. And you have to do a lot of troubleshooting in there. Next slide, please. Electrical. Over half of our apprentices enrolled in our program, which is over 200 apprentices. So half of that are in our electrical program. This is also a 4-year program. And here's what some of the things that they do. And responsible for designing and installing and repairing all the electrical power systems, installing the conduit, being able to put all of those things together in order to, make the lights turn on and everything and go. Again, problem solving skills, troubleshooting, analytical skills, customer service. You have to have good hand-eye coordination and stamina. One of the interesting things about electrical is that you cannot be colorblind, because you have to be able to distinguish the different colors of wires. One is a ground, what is not a ground. If you can't see the difference there could be a lot of problems. So it's a job that has a lot of variety in it. Next slide, please. HVACR. This is all about the comfort that we enjoy in our buildings between the heating and the cooling systems. But it's not just that. It's a trade that involves a lot of mechanical aptitude, knowledge of safety standards, patience and flexibility, and also time management and creative thinking. So there is, again, the kind of, you look up and you see the ventilation systems. All of that is put together by the HVAC individuals, and also the various kinds of controls. It's a very lucrative profession there. Next slide, please. Masonry. Again, that has to do with all of the exterior work that's done, the stone work, the different kinds of skills that are used in that is that, again, the eye-hand coordination, attention to detail, creativity. You cannot be afraid of heights, because you're going to be up on scaffolding, 30, 40 or more feet up in the air. So these are things, the kind of different skills and abilities. Each trade really has its own personality and attracts people for various reasons. So it's not as if, anybody can just go anywhere. You really have to have a certain set of skills to be successful in the various trade. Next, plumbing. Crucial. So there is a slogan that says that the plumbers protect the health and safety of the nation. And that's very true, because if we don't have access to clean water, if we don't have access to different kinds of sewer facilities here, we would be up the creek. We'd really be, living like a third world country. So the different kinds of things that are done in there, again, you have to have physical strength, stamina, reliability, good at following directions, working within confined spaces. So just like not being afraid of heights, if that doesn't bother you, you could have a trade in, a career in masonry or in ironworking. Here, plumbing has confined spaces, as does electrical. So if you're claustrophobic, think twice. Again, another trade that is not going to go away. And our last slide, sheet metal. So, of course, we were talking about the duct work. The HVAC individuals typically install it. These are the sheet metal workers. They're the individuals who can actually look at a flat piece of metal and see and visualize how to turn it into a three-dimensional piece that is used into making the duct work. You also have to understand air pressure, air balance. There's a lot of geometry that goes into doing any of the sheet metal work here. So you require critical thinking, reading comprehension. Again, in all of these trades, you have to be good at math, you have to be good at reading comprehension, you have to be good communicators as well, and be able to follow direction. It talks here about having manual precision skills. Again, being careful with what you do. You don't want to screw things up and then cost your employer a lot of money here. Again, this is another trade. All of these trades pay very, very well. And so these are serious things to consider, where you come away with not just the head knowledge, but you have the ability to do something which can take you very far in life. Next slide.
This is our career ladder, and it's an apprenticeship model that I put together. You can see at the bottom it says high school graduate. That is going to be you very soon. After that, you can become an apprentice. You go through the 4-year program. You're learning, hands-on training and education behind that. Then you graduate the apprenticeship program, and then you can become a licensed journey person. After that, the ladder just keeps getting bigger and bigger. The dollar signs keep getting larger and larger. You could be a crew leader. You could be an estimator, a site supervisor, a project manager, senior manager, and then all the way at the top, you can own your own company. You could be a CEO or CFO of your own company. Some of our apprentices have graduated the program, and they've actually come back to teach. So they are giving their knowledge back to students, and it's very rewarding for them. So the sky is the limit in construction, and it's a great apprenticeship model to take a look at. Next slide, please.
So let's think about the advantages that you have by going through an apprenticeship program after high school. One of the biggest things really is that you're starting immediately in the trade, in the profession that you want to be in, and you're learning the academic knowledge, and you're actually learning the hands-on skills at the same time. So by the time you graduate from this program, and we do a graduation, is that you end up, by the time you're 21, 22, 23, you've got this experience behind you and the knowledge, and you're growing in it, and you're increasing, as Shauna mentioned, you've got your career ladder. So instead of waiting, you go through college, and by the time you come out from college, you end up with debt, and you're still trying to get an entry-level job to get into your career. Here, by the time you finish this program, you're already going to become a journeyman. So that's a great stepping stone. So you want to continue, you want to have the attitude of always wanting to be learning. And here you learn from the experts. So all of our instructors are in the trade that they teach. They're not just teaching it from a book. They are actually in the field, they have that career. So they impart not just the head knowledge of the industry, but they're going to impart their actual experiences. In this way, you gain confidence as well. The greater your skills are, and as you go through the program, you're doing a progression also financially as you go through the program as well, until you end up as almost being paid journeyman wages. So, think about it. When you go through a program like this, you are in charge of your career. You're deciding what you're going to do. And look at your future. You're already saving money by not paying for your tuition, and you're getting well paid. You can go anywhere. When you take this skill, any of these skills that we're talking about, you can go anywhere in the United States, you can go anywhere in the world, because we're always going to be building. There's always going to be construction going on, no matter where you go. I mean, you have a ticket to take you to wherever you want to be. It's really only limited by your imagination. Next slide, please.
So some statistics to think about. First one is 60% of students who start college actually graduate. That means that 40% start college, you guys get your books, you go to the courses, but you never graduate, you never complete. 27% of that 60 get jobs related to their major. So say, for instance, you go to college for 4 years and you get your English degree or your teaching degree. 27% of you who get your teaching degree are going to go on to actually teach. The other percentage, unfortunately, will have to maybe find jobs, at Starbucks or somewhere else until there is an entry-level position available in what you just learned, what your degree is in. In the apprenticeship and construction trade, like Greta said, you are starting from day one, learning and working in the trade that you have decided. The cost of a 4-year apprenticeship program, it kind of averages out to about $13,600. So you can think of that as if somebody handed you a check for $13,600 for your education, but your employer pays that for your tuition and books. So, that's a pretty good chunk of money. Another statistic is that construction industry is projected to just contribute 7% to overall employment in the United States between the next 10 years and $1.4 trillion worth of structures each year. The construction industry doesn't stop. It keeps going. And there's a lot of money involved in it. And, there's enough for everybody involved. Careers in construction are needed anywhere, anytime. Greta mentioned it could take you all over the world with your journey person license. It's needed, and it should be noted that construction was not affected excessively by COVID. Most of our member companies continued to build. Hospitals needed to be built for COVID patients. And a lot of the apprentices that worked on those projects felt very good about being able to give back to the community to help people. Next slide, please.
So what are the qualifications to apply for the program? First of all, you have to be at least 18 years of age or older, physically able to perform the functions of the occupation with or without reasonable accommodation. So, think realistically about what construction does. You do have to be physically fit to do this. Most programs require a high school diploma or GED or another high school equivalency. We do require that. And the reason being is because there is so much math, reading comprehension, etc., that you don't want to be at a disadvantage. You want to be able to just jump right into it. Be a resident of the United States. And you may be required to pass a drug test or a background check through our employers in that. So keep all of those things in mind. Next slide, please.
What can students do? What you can do now? Build a good reputation now amongst your peers, amongst your the faculty at your schools, and amongst maybe your parents have friends that are in the construction industry. Start asking questions and get to know what their experiences are. Keep a clean record, meaning keep your grades up. Driving is very important. Your driving record is important because if you get hired and they want to give you a company vehicle, if you have excessive amount of speeding tickets, it's not going to be good. You're not going to be getting that, that shiny truck to drive around to the job sites. So keep your driving record clean. Show interest and value in work and related instruction. Understand that learning doesn't stop after you graduate high school. There's a lot to learn in life, and if you just use your high school, graduating high school as a jumping board to take you where you need to go, it's good. Learning the soft skills. Soft skills are how to interview, how to shake hands, how to look somebody in the eye when you meet them. It's probably a guarantee if you are in an interview and you have your phone on and you have it out and they're talking to you, you're probably not going to get the job. So just be present and really understand that you're there to sell yourself to this employer, and they just want to get to know you and they want to see that you have the skills that they're looking for the position. If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something that you've never done. That is very true. It takes you out of your comfort zone, but sometimes our comfort zones need to grow in order for us to grow as people.
So one of the things I wanted to just touch on briefly before we talked about what educators can do is, we'll have young individuals come and interview for the program there. And one of the things that kind of tells a lot about a person's sincerity of interest is if they've gone ahead and tried to get some experience in the construction industry. So if you really think this is what you want to do, go ahead and, get work as a laborer, because the laborer is the first step to getting into doing any kind of further trade. But you will know within a couple of hours on being on a job site if construction is for you. It doesn't take long at all, because maybe in your head you're thinking, oh yeah, this sounds like a good idea. But if you don't have that actual physical experience, actually going out and doing it, it kind of questions credibility there. So, go out and find a job doing this kind of work to see if you really want to do it. It all sounds great, but this isn't for everybody. So in the meantime, what can educators do? Learning about what apprenticeship is and what it can offer. I found out from talking with some counselors that they had never been informed about Apprenticeship Week, that there was a National Apprenticeship Week, that the Department of Labor was even advertising or promoting any of this. Again, let's get rid of the negative stereotypes about the construction industry. They're not knuckle dragging Neanderthals, as I brought out. If you've seen, and I'm sure you have, if you live in Albuquerque, you've seen all these TLC plumbing trucks driving around there. Dale Armstrong the owner of the company, started with himself and another guy and a truck. And this is over 30 some years ago. And he's built it now into where he has multiple companies and he employs hundreds of individuals in his companies there. That's success. But he went out and got it. He earned it. What you're doing right now, inviting us to come to the school, either virtually or in person, and really to talk to you, the parents, and other teachers about what the different options are available. Partner with programs and industries to determine what students need to be successful in their careers. Because if you want to know how to be successful in a job, talk to the employer. They'll tell you what they're looking for and what kind. It's not just a matter of having a skill. It's also a point of being a trainable person who's willing to follow instruction and give it their all, to come in and give a full day's work and show that, show willing in this. So
This slide is a flyer that if you're interested, you can get it emailed to you, or you can get it. I think that your advisory teachers might be able to print it or send it virtually. It's what we went over: benefits of apprenticeship. It has our contact information at the bottom, the program requirements, and then on the side it has the programs offered. There's an annual salary of kind of like a starting apprentice and where it can take you. So that's the numbers on there. And then the next piece of marketing is connect with us. So we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, Twitter, and then there's our website. There's a lot of cool posts going up all the time about what we're doing as an association, what we're doing for our apprentices. We have a Apprentice Appreciation Week where we give little lunch boxes away so that they know that they're appreciated. So go check us out online.
Thank you so much, ladies. So advisory teachers, I have sent you a couple links. One is to the ABC apprenticeships that are offered, and then the other one is to the New Mexico State apprenticeship site. So there's apprenticeships all over the state in these areas and others. ABC just has a ton of them, so you guys could get an idea of what is available. Students, when you look at this slide, if you look at it, the students that are starting out, you can see some of the pay ranges in, the 30, the 40, and then they go up to 50,000. So it's an amazing opportunity if you're thinking, hey, college might not be right for me, but I love working with my hands. I love doing things like this, electricity, HVAC, anything, and they're all in high demand. So make sure that you're considering this as an option, and then check out the resources that was sent to your advisory teacher. So thank you all for your attention today. Thank you, Greta and Shauna. I appreciate you so much, and have a great day, Bears.